Alrighty, welcome to today's video. So been debating about making this for a little while now. Figured, you know what, why not at least document kind of like the mindset I'm in currently. I am, let's see, a couple things. I am currently 3 shows into a 4-show bodybuilding season. I am today's almost over. I call it 3 days out from my last 4th and final show. And note to future self, Jack, don't do this again. I want to say that, so hopefully my future self listens. Once again, I am in a mindset right now where I'm very food focused. I'm tired. I am hungry all the time. I don't feel like I look the best. I actually feel like depleted and flat. There's a lot of things going on that's kind of have like me, quote unquote, on the negative side of things, but I just don't think it's really been worth it. I will say, currently going through it obviously is going to be different than my mindset in maybe 3 months from now after I've kind of recovered, got my testosterone back up, got more food, all that kind of stuff. But in the current state of things, I really just don't find this being worth it to myself personally. And once again, if you're out there competing, have competed, love to compete, nothing against you guys. I mean, it's completely different for everyone. Just like some people are carb people, some people are into more materialistic things, some people are extreme kind of like adrenaline junkies, whatever it is, everyone has their own thing. And this was an itch I needed to scratch as far as my health and fitness journey, but definitely not something I'll ever be doing again. And once again, future Jack, just don't do it. I think there's levels to the game. I love bodybuilding. I just don't love competing. I've now done 3 shows, my 4th show coming up. I really don't expect the 4th show to change anything. And a couple things I want to document as far as how I feel about the shows themselves. I find them very underwhelming, anticlimactic. I'm trying to think of other good words to describe it. Just not enjoyable, but also just not worth it in my opinion. It's a little bit of a unique situation where I don't like to shave. I don't like to get the spray tan. I don't like to get up on stage. I don't like to win or lose. Like, it doesn't feel like a competitive thing. It's weird. Like, when I have won my class, when I have lost my class, when I've come in 4th, when I've come in 1st, when I come in 2nd, when I go to the overall, it's all just, I mean, an experience, but I don't feel like I get any sort of high from it. I don't feel like I enjoy it as much. And once again, this is my first season, but I've done 4 shows or 3 shows now with 1 more coming up. And I just don't really care for them. I just don't care if I won my pro card, if I didn't win my pro card. Like, I don't care if I won medals or didn't win medals or came in 1st or last or anything, because it's a weird situation where you're not actually really competing against anyone else in a sense. Like all my other sports I've played in the past, like there's something you do day of that can kind of make or break your kind of win or loss or your victory or defeat, where this is just a matter of, okay, who has better genetics, who has trained for longer and has more muscle mass, and who might have dieted harder. And that's kind of what they kind of take into account. And it's a balance of all those things. And I just really couldn't care less. I'll admit it. Like, I just don't care about my placement. I think I look better at a higher body fat. I really don't think I look good right now. I'll throw up some photos too. I weighed in this morning at 147. Most of my shows have been right around 150. Maybe when I do carb up, maybe close to like 152, 153. But I legitimately think I look better at like 165. And I need to get this lean to step on a bodybuilding stage and be competitive in competitive bodybuilding. But in terms of kind of like the levels, I think there's lean, I think there's shredded, I think there's peeled. And right now I'm at the peeled stage where, once again, you need to be peeled to step on a bodybuilding stage. But I think my lean or shredded look at like 165, once again, I'll throw in some photos, like down in Houston when I was like 165 to 160, like that should have been the absolute leanest I ever got. I think I look absolutely insane. I would have been the leanest guy in any gym or beach I go to. Besides the small niche of a bodybuilding show, I was in probably the best shape out of anyone I've ever known in my entire life. So it's one of those things where there's always levels of this thing. It depends where you are. Obviously, in the gym is very different. A commercial gym is very different than going out to Washington and being around guys that also are the leanest guys in their gym. But yeah, I just want to document, like, I don't think any of it's been worth it to me, in all honesty. The amount of money you pay, the time you commit, the sacrifices you make. But yeah, as far as the financial side of things, you're paying for a coach, you're paying for the federation, you're paying for your posing trunks, you're paying for your flights, your hotel room if you travel, the spray tan, the show itself, the food. I mean, there's so many expenses to go along with it. And once again, for some people, it's a cool experience. Some people like it. I know some people that compete on a yearly basis. And I just personally don't get it. I have not found that it is not satisfying. I've not found it fulfilling really in the slightest. I mean, this is a document, obviously been documenting my journey. I try to put a smile on my face and stuff like that, but I've really been struggling. Honestly, once again, I tell myself don't do it again. If I do ever do it again, I will do one single show and that'll be it. The mental turmoil of going from one show, feeling accomplished, feeling like I'm done, and then doing it again and again and again. So if you do plan to do one, only do one or two. I definitely don't recommend doing 4 in one season. That's one thing I wish my coach would have told me is like, hey Jack, like I understand why because in my mind I was like, oh wow, I'm lean. I might as well just do more shows, right? Maximize that. Like I don't even know why I wanted to do more shows. If I wanted like the more of a chance to win or get my pro card or something, which now I honestly couldn't care less about. But at the time I was like, oh yeah, let's just throw another show. Let's go to Seattle and then come back literally 2 days later, fly home and do another show the following weekend. I'll be lean, right? But it takes a really big mental toll as far as the energy goes, the libido, relationships. I just think it's one of those things where personally it just isn't worth it to me. I don't think it ever will be, especially once again, if I ever was to compete again, it'll be many, many years down the line. At that point, my priorities will be anywhere but bodybuilding. It'll be hopefully on a family, maybe hopefully a wife, maybe kids on the way, want to be financially sustainable, coaching. There's all kind of like my businesses, YouTube, content creation, all that kind of stuff where I just don't feel like competitive bodybuilding fits in. Because once again, I will always want to build muscle, feel healthy, look better. But at the same time, it's just to the point where, although I might look better, this is the worst I've ever felt. This is to the opposite extreme. Like a lot of people, once again, maybe start overweight, start obese. I'm at the point where I'm like so low body fat, low energy depleted, that is just as unhealthy as being obese, if not maybe more so. Like my hormones are messed up, all that kind of stuff. So I will say take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but I just want to document this because, once again, for future Jack as well as those that might want to compete, I personally don't find it fulfilling. I think one thing that I always heard was like, oh, like getting on stage, it'll be so worth it when you're on stage. Or the coolest part about going through prep is how lean you get. And I just don't think it's worth it when it's only like you literally only look cool. That is the only thing you get out from bodybuilding. Some people say, oh, it builds discipline, it does X, Y, and Z. And to an extent, yes, but I feel like I already have that discipline luckily instilled in me as far as going through school, growing up playing sports, whatever it is. I didn't really need bodybuilding to make me disciplined or kind of prove to myself that I can be disciplined. If anything, it's to the extent where I'm almost too disciplined. I'm too much on point with my meals. I'm too strict with myself. I'm too restrictive with enjoying, like, once again, social events or going out to eat or whatever it was. Especially in the last 3 months of prep. At the beginning, I was a little bit better, but I was still always tracking everything, limiting myself, saying no to certain things. And that's one thing I'm going to be doing for probably the next, like, 3 or 4 months. I will not say no to a single thing. Just because it might not fit my quote-unquote fitness goals. Like there's a lot of traveling I have coming up, a lot of events, it's the holiday season, Thanksgiving, food, Christmas, like there'll be so much stuff going on, and I'm not gonna say no to a single thing based on my kind of quote-unquote health or fitness goals or bodybuilding goals. Because once again, I plan to bodybuild. I plan to, once again, get to a healthy weight, recover my hormones, go into a building phase, a gaining phase. I can't really call it an off season because I don't plan to compete again, but some sort of building phase, a bulking phase, build more muscle. And then once again, I will always, once again, want to be leaner, want to look good, but I'll never go beyond the point of as soon as like my sleep gets affected, my hunger, my hormones, my relationships, anything like that, as soon as that gets to a quote-unquote negative connotation, I will stop the cut no matter what it is. If I'm 10%, 9%, 12%, whatever body fat it is, I'll kind of come across that bridge. And as soon as the physique starts to affect the rest of my life, I don't think it's worth it personally. Once again, there are people out there that compete, that love it. My coach has been competing, I think, for like 37 years. And honestly, props to him, but it's just not for me. It's just something I just don't really find fulfillment in. I didn't really find any of this enjoyable. If I didn't put my money down and make a plan and tell social media and want to keep my word, I would have stopped after the first show probably, or at least definitely after Seattle. At this point, I'm finishing it just because I am lean. I'm literally 3 days out. I already put, I think, probably $500 down for this last show as far as the cost of the actual, like, joining a federation, the show fee, the tanning. I mean, spray tan's like $150 plus a polygraph. I mean, it's an easy $500. I'm like, okay, screw it. I'll just do it because I put the money down. But after every show, honestly, I've had more fun having dinner, having my mom's birthday dinner, celebrating with Five Guys out in Seattle with Isaac, going out with my girlfriend to get Mexican after the show. Like, everything I've enjoyed about the process has nothing to do with the show day. If anything, I don't like the show day. I just, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't think it's worth it. It's not fulfilling. I don't know how many more times I can say that. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about as well. Once again, I think a cutting phase or a fat loss phase is great. I think that's something that if you're overweight, it's something that's good to have. I do like the idea of having some sort of schedule or program put together, which is great. Once again, it made me very efficient with my fat loss phase, made sure I was on point. I like having an end date to things rather than just an inevitable kind of cutting phase. I definitely think that the time frame was well managed. I think that the whole process was well done. Just a matter of that I just don't find this fulfilling at all. And I do, once again, still think I looked better, performed better, felt better at 165 and 160 than I do at 150. The last 10 pounds have just been not brutal to get off because I honestly have managed it pretty well, but just not worth it in my opinion. The last 10 pounds or so have been the super strict months of 3 months leading up to the competition where I should have just not, obviously I should have stopped in hindsight, but I once again had to scratch that itch. I just had to do it, had to make sure that it wasn't something I wanted to do, and now I know it's not. So my goal with health and fitness was always, and I'm kind of talking for a while, was always to never have to say no to something because I physically can't do it. But now I'm at the extreme of saying no to things because I want to look a certain way physically, if that makes sense. So initially when I started working out health and fitness wise, obviously when I was really young, look better, get abs. And then as I've once again grown, I realized, okay, I just want to be like, I saw a TikTok, actually my girlfriend sent me a TikTok of a 91-year-old grandma doing squats, playing pickleball, folding laundry, like doing things. I'm like, that is my dream. That is my goal. My goal is not to get a pro card. My goal is not to be the most shredded guy in the world. My goal is to age extremely well, always be physically fit, and be able to functionally do things and not have to say no because I physically can't do something. And this is an extreme where I'm saying no to going to FC games, going to dinner with my family, social events, just because I don't have the energy or the willpower to deal, and I'm very irritable, or the willpower to deal with everyone else drinking, having a good time, eating food, and me sitting there very low energy, hungry, thinking about my next meal, wondering if if it's gonna affect my water weight for stage and how I'm gonna look the next day, and all kinds of stuff. Where I had so much of a healthier balance before that, where once again I could bulk, I could cut, I could do all kinds of things, and 1 or 2 days is not gonna have an effect. And I get it. Once again, some people that sacrifice is worth it for them. It's worth it to get on stage. But for me, I've given up so much in the last 3 months at the end of prep that I really honestly regret. And I once again, I want to say, oh, I'm going to like live with no regret. I'm not going to leave all my cards on the table. I'm going to do this bodybuilding show, not having a regret in the sense that I'm going to give it my all. And now I'm like, having given it my all, I now regret not, I regret doing it and not doing other things. Like I would much rather have quit the bodybuilding, what we would call it, bodybuilding season, or quit this prep and have done fun things for the last 3 months. I will say the only kind of, I guess, silver lining is that Katie has been so busy with PA school and her rotation, stuff like that, where she's so busy studying. I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much because she's studying, I'm just going through my prep. It's kind of like that good mix where we're both so busy that things aren't really like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. But, oh, Katie's here. Actually, you can come on in. I'm like almost done.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Is there anything you can remember that I talked about? I talked about, so yeah, Katie's here. She just got back from her day job, and before she goes and studies,
day job? You just call it a day job?
Basically. That's basically what it is.
What is that supposed to mean? Maisie, stop.
Well, I literally just talked about how, like, over the last 3 months, I used to say, oh, like, I want to stick to the prep because I don't want to regret, like, having a cheat day or having that meal. But now that, like, prep's almost over, I regret doing the prep because of everything else I missed.
Yeah.
But I said, like, the silver lining was, like, you've been so busy that, like, low-key, luckily I don't feel like I'm missing out on a ton because, like, your schedule's so busy. My prep has been so busy. Like, we just both, like, work, go nonstop, that we haven't, like, had a ton that we've, like, quote-unquote, like, missed out on because, like...
I was gonna miss out on life regardless.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
It's like... I feel like if you didn't do prep, I'd probably be even more... Selfishly, I'd be even more sad because I'd be like, damn, like, look at Jack out here doing all these
Yeah, like, because she, once again...
I'm so selfish.
I mean, she's a badass, but, like, she takes a lot of time, and she's, like, studying on the weekends and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, like, I need to stick to my meal plan. I need to do my cardio. I need to get my workouts in as well. So, like, it kind of works out. We're both on our own grinds. Let's see what else I talked about. I talked about just, like, how strict I've been with myself. Like, just, I don't do certain things.
So strict even back in like June when it didn't actually matter that much.
Yeah. And I was saying, like, I feel like I looked better and healthier and just overall, like, I mean, 160, like probably 165 ish was probably like my best physique. Well, I think my best physique. Maybe Houston when I was like 160, but anything below that, like a 150, I don't get pumps. I literally look good for maybe 10 minutes on stage, and I just like once again how what I use like what anticlimactic, unfulfilling as far as actual show days.
Yeah.
Annoying, honestly. The spray tan, the painting the nails, the black sheets, the shaving, all that kind of stuff, just annoying. And once again, I just don't feel like I feel like I got a good physique, but even like had I earned a pro card, like what would I do with that? Would they just sit upstairs like my medals collecting dust
and then
and
you
stuff
just
in my
tell
box?
people that you have one, and people be like,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
and it's just like, and I get it in the bodybuilding world, it's like a very high honor to have. But I've seen people earn pro cards with no offense, like very like not impressive lineups where they like are pros, but it was just like a small local show, that kind of thing. Once again, credit to them because prep is hard. Anybody that does this, I get it. It's very, very difficult, but I also don't get it because I'll never do this again. Or at least future Jack, don't do this again.
Please.
Yeah, for her sake too. But yeah, and I've been in prep like ever since we officially started dating in January. I started prep in February. I feel like the first few months I was okay, once again, because I was like 180. Going from 180 to 170 was just like me getting healthy again. Like some of those photos, I have like chubby face, a little bit of body fat. But then after that, it's just like...
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Until July.
Yeah.
You were more yourself until July.
Stopped working.
Well, that not only that makes me sound like a piece of shit human.
It's part of the relationship, but energy levels...
Just like, yeah, energy...
Strict.
I feel like I compete for energy with your phone. Food videos right now.
Yeah.
What'd I say?
I just need like constant stimulus because of how hungry I am. I just like constantly have to have like looking at TikToks on my phone
like
or something.
You
just
used to
like
not look. Like I don't know. We used to probably. I don't know because I'm also so busy. So
yeah,
it's
just
hard.
in general, I've like it's been a decline of pretty much everything but my. Well, I even think my physique has declined, but I feel like the last 3 months, everything in my life has declined, and like even more so than it was 3 months ago. Like sleep, energy. Mood, pumps in the gym, how I look, I still don't feel like I'm looking better. So like everything's been on a decline for the last 3 months, and I wish I wouldn't have signed up for as many shows as I did. Once again, I can't go back in time, but yeah.
You looked so much like I know. I'm not saying like you look so bad right now, but I know what your goals are to look like, and you looked like your best starting like June. July.
Yeah.
Like the 165.
Like Houston should have been like the end. Like
yeah.
Because I think I hit 160 for like a day in Houston.
Because now it's just like.
And I look back at those photos. Once again, I threw some up earlier. Like I feel like I look insane there. Sure, I might not have like the glutes or the hamstrings, but like I don't care about those.
No, yeah.
Like
once you started caring about the glutes more, then it just. I'm not saying that you don't look good, obviously, but I'm just saying like. Once you had to cut the glutes, then your whole body was just like, oh my god, I have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I have to keep pushing myself. Is that a spider?
And just run down where? Oh yeah, looks like it.
It's on the floor. It's on the floor!
But yeah, it's just
Anyways.
one of those things where, and like the food focus is actually insane. The amount of time I spent more time thinking about food, planning my post-show cheat days, than I have about my actual like training program. Obviously my coach is helping a lot with that, but like I couldn't care less. He tells me what to do, I do it. And I'm just so food focused right now, which I cannot wait to not be anymore and just slowly increase my food and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't even know. Feel like I've been blabbing on forever.
I just think
once again, everyone has their own thing. I get it. If people that compete and do it all the time, it's something they're super passionate about and they get something out of it that I am missing. Like I love to hear like what they feel, but I just have, once again, this is gonna be my 4th show and not a single show. They've been good experiences, bad experiences, everything in between. Even the best experience out in Seattle, I was like, I would much have preferred to go out to Seattle and eat and hike and enjoy my trip than do a bodybuilding show. Like it honestly was a waste of time.
I think Seattle, if that was your only show, great, perfect, great experience for you. Probably, I think obviously prep being 9 months is a little extreme,
Yeah.
but also kind of the better way to do it, so you're not dropping your body weight and all the things too fast. Kind of crazy that we just dated through the whole thing. You're still a pleasant person to be around. I would have been the worst human to be around if I was always hungry and tired.
Yeah.
Like me after a 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
But you for 3 months straight. It wasn't bad until like July.
Yeah.
I would just say,
live and learn.
if I was able to control your life, I would tell you not to do it to that extreme again.
Yeah.
I would still push you to achieve your goals and like
do
a bodybuilding show, but
yeah, I mentioned earlier I was like, I love bodybuilding, I don't love competing.
Yeah,
like
that's
I
what it
will
is.
Once again, I'll get to a healthy body weight, I will bulk up again, I will get a little bit fluffy, I will build muscle, I will get stronger, and then next time I cut, it's not gonna be for a show, it's gonna be for a trip to Italy or just summer vacation,
Lily.
or just the fact that I maybe got a little bit too fluffy and I just want to like look a little bit better. But it just, there's been so many sacrifices, so much that I regret now looking back.
You need to be positive too. You were able to push your body and you were able to be like, okay, I did that. I don't want to do it again, but I did that.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Well, I talked about discipline earlier, and like luckily I'm a person that like kind of already has discipline built in from like sports, school, undergrad, and MBA, like everything. Like I'm already a well-organized and disciplined person, so like this was just, once again, I guess more health and fitness focused and to an extreme in that regard. But I don't know, it's just and once again, this is like a 3-day out. The leanest I've been, I weighed 147.4 this morning. Yeah, so also brand new low weigh-in this morning. But yeah, and then also I just feel like my phone, in the sense of like my fitness pal and stuff, has control over me right now, and I cannot wait to like eat intuitively for a little bit, but also like realize that my internal and external cues are so messed up. Like that's one thing that a lot of people say, like, oh, like you do your show, but then you also need to track out of it. I'm like, what do you mean? You can just eat whatever you want. It's like your internal cue is so messed up for hunger that like if you did that, you would just like, even if you're eating healthy food, you would just overconsume it at first. So it's one of those things I'll probably track while I'm at home, but also with all the traveling I have coming up, I'm not going to track at the same time. But yeah, I mean, that'll be a post-show thing. I'll definitely make plenty of videos about that as far as like intuitive eating, tracking, or like the recovery phase, because I've never gone through it. Why, do you hear my stomach just growl?
Yeah, I can't wait for you to eat.
Yeah.
Period. Just like can't wait for you to eat.
I've been planning out this, oh my gosh.
Every conversation that we have is, Katie, I know what we're going to eat, and I know exactly what I know the exact route that we're going to take.
And I keep changing it up too, because of my like cravings.
Am I crushing you?
No, you're good. Oh my gosh, but yeah. Let's end it here, just because I feel like I've been talking forever. But yeah, basically, future Jack, don't do this. Anybody else?
Don't worry, other people do it. Jack, don't.
Yeah, exactly. Other people just do whatever the hell you want.
That's so encouraging.
If you need to scratch an itch, go for it. If you've never done a show, definitely just do one to start.
Yeah. We'll put it that way.
And then
do it. Just do one.
Yeah, and getting lean, being healthier is great. But it's just not competitive bodybuilding. Is just not for me, and that's what I kind of found out. But yeah, otherwise, that'll wrap up today's video. Today was my last, well, I have a couple hours left. Today's the last low-calorie day. Then we start to carb up for the show. Starting tomorrow, and we have some epic meals and cheat days planned. Just because I'm so food-focused. But, yeah, anything else?
I'm so tired.
Yeah, me too. All right, see you guys next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of questions. If I forget anything or didn't talk about anything, let me know. Leave a comment down below. See you next time. Peace.